Coming up on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada, we sit down with Nova Scotia's own Austin Connolly.
My goal is to be on the PGA Tour in 2 years.
And hear from those fighting for a spot inside the top 60.
You need to have a lot of mental energy, especially out here when everybody's so good.
While Dan McCarthy redefines the number one.
It feels amazing to do it now, finally at the right time.
All that and more, next. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. Baddeck, Nova Scotia, the heart of Cape Breton Island, is a village nestled along the shores of the great inland sea known as the Breton Lakes.
Baddeck's a really cool town. It's really small and quaint. It's got a nice little artistic feel to it.
Everyone's been really nice and kind of curious and making sure that we know where we're going and that we're well fed, that's for sure.
It's a region steeped in Celtic culture and governed by the sea. Known as the beginning and end of the famous Cabot Trail, Baddeck is also home to the 2016 Cape Breton Open.
Playing in this event out in Cape Breton is a different experience for sure. Going across Canada, you see all the different terrains and everything, and then to be on an island out here, all the different traditions out here, the different people and the small town is really cool.
It's awesome. Everyone here is always so nice. You know, you hear this hospitality of the East Coasters. You just feel it. Having the backdrop we do at Bell Bay this week is just an extra bonus.
Bell Bay Golf Club sits high above the Breton Lakes. At just over 7,000 yards, the par 72 Thomas McBroom designed track features the 182-yard par 3 17, a signature hole with panoramic views.
The trees look penal. It looks like if you hit them in there, it's going to be at least be a bogey or worse. I think it suits my game nicely, just hitting lots of drivers off the tee and making sure you're in the fairways.
The course is really good this year. It's a lot like last year at the Lakes, but it has a lot of different parts of the different courses we played already this year, which is really cool. I think with the wind kicking up, it'll be a good test of golf as well.
When you find yourself in the beautiful surroundings of Nova Scotia, you have to take advantage of the great outdoors. Mackenzie Tour player Clayton Rask and local club pro Brian Mogg did just that.
Be the right yardage, ball.
The day started with a little friendly skins competition, touring the course with two lucky amateurs.
All right, there you go. Best swing today there. This is the move right here. No, it's this move. There you go. There you go. There.
That might be the only tip that you could share with me that I might be able to use.
So is this like the 138 sprinkler, but it's 23 front?
So 123 front. So this is the right one. This is my second year back, the short putter. Okay. I did the long putter for 15 years.
Wow. Double breaker here. We'll peel left to start with, peel right at the end. Let's just go right straight at it and see what happens. Come on, ball, do your thing. Whoa! Great try. You guys are going down.
Great shot.
Take your setup for a second. This is where you got to get more this way. So you're trying to sweep the ball off the ground. Be right all in the hole.
After a morning on the links and a lunch filled with the sounds of Cape Breton's own Kyle McNeil, it was time to tackle the great outdoors as the boys transitioned from skins to fins and headed out for an afternoon of fishing on the bay.
We'll get them.
Yeah.
Soon enough.
Fish are not hungry at the moment. Look at that, look at that. Oh man. That's about a 50-yard cast.
Oh my God, it's a monster.
It's a good one. We got one in the bucket. Better than last time.
Good.
After a relaxing afternoon on the water, the tide turned to the first round of the Cape Breton Open. The beautiful sun-kissed skies turned gray as rains challenged the 144-man field in the first round of the Cape Breton Open. Still, scoring soared at Bell Bay Golf Club. Nova Scotia's own Austin Connolly got off to a great start. After an even par front nine, the 19-year-old grabbed the early clubhouse lead, carding 5 birdies on the backside, finishing with this one at the par 5 ninth for a 5-under 67.
The greens today were just so soft because of the rain. I was spinning 8 irons back 15 feet. It was really difficult conditions today.
J.D. Tomlinson made an early run alongside Connolly. The Florida native also carded an even par front nine and closed with a 5-under on the backside to finish in a tie with Connolly.
Just got to keep it going. Got this week and next week to get into that Tour Championship, so just trying to play my way into it.
But it was California's Ben Geyer who cruised to an 8-under 64 to take the lead on day one. The 24-year-old carded 2 eagles and 4 birdies on the way to setting a new competitive course record at Bell Bay. Geyer came in 1 shot ahead of playing partner Dan McCarthy. The Order of Merit leader opened with a bogey-free 7-under 65, carding 5 birdies and an eagle on his opening round. Coming up next on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. A youngster with local ties hits the big stage. And a veteran climbs into the share of the lead in round 2 of the Cape Breton Open. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada.
From Irving, Texas, Austin Connolly.
My goal is to be on the PGA Tour in 2 years. I'd like to get through this year and earn my Web.com Tour card and then finish top 25 in the money list next year and move on to the PGA Tour.
Sometimes in life, you have to walk down the unconventional path to reach the destination of your dreams. And Austin Connolly has always been willing to take the road less traveled.
I probably thought about this being a career when I was 14. I played in my first couple American Junior Golf Association events, and I played very well. I won my first 2 events. That was a big jump for me from junior golf to a bigger stage. And from there on, I just started working at it really, really hard.
The youngster from just outside Dallas, Texas, with roots in Nova Scotia, honed his skills on the Golf Canada national team.
I'm actually a dual citizen. My dad was born up in Toronto, and my whole family lives in Nova Scotia. It was really neat growing up, seeing 2 different cultures and different parts of the world. I ended up being on the Golf Canada national team, which was pretty special. Got to play in the Pan Am Games for Canada, which was an unbelievable experience. They really helped my game progress, helped me learn. It was really nice to have the supportive base from the national team.
Connolly signed a letter of intent to play golf at the University of Arkansas, but made a U-turn, focusing instead on the professional ranks.
We made this effort as a team, my coach, myself, and my parents, and honestly, my college coach. He was the one that originally told me that, he felt like I was ready.
And the 18-year-old closed with a birdie.
There's so many young kids coming out on tour, and they believe they can do it.
Connolly quickly gained experience, earning a handful of PGA Tour starts as a teenager in 2015.
The guys out there, they're very good players. They're very solid, very professional. And I really feel like I take away a lot of experience every time I get to play.
He then secured full status on the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada with a top 10 finish at the 2016 qualifying school in California.
It's really, really important for us to have these pathways, to the Web.com Tour and ultimately to the PGA Tour. I feel like I've learned so much just from playing week in, week out here on the Mackenzie Tour. And, I'm really happy with the direction that I'm headed. I feel like I've really learned how to dig deep and continue shooting low numbers to get to the deep under par scores that the guys shoot out here, which is very important out here, and especially on the Web.com Tour for next year. It's really helped me prepare for that.
Prior to teeing it up at the Cape Breton Open, Connolly was 10th on the Order of Merit, posting 3 top 10 finishes and 9 starts in his rookie campaign, getting 1 step further down the path to the Web.com Tour, 1 step closer to realizing the dream of a PGA Tour card.
I'm confident in my ability to play out there, and You know, I would love to have a full year on the Web.com tour and see where it takes me.
With his dad on the bag and his mother, aunt, and grandfather in the crowd, Austin Connolly continued his good play in round 2 of the Cape Breton Open. Connolly kept pace with the 2 under 70 at Bell Bay Golf Club to remain inside the top 10, just 3 back of the lead pack. While opening round leader Ben Geyer added to his total with a 1 under 71 on day 2. The California native had 3 birdies and a double bogey on his card, climbing to 9 under for the tournament and into a 3-way tie for second alongside fellow Californian Aaron Wise and Oklahoma's Taylor Moore.
I just like the look off the tee box, you know, sets up visually well for me, so I'm able to get the ball in play and then just trying to hit some greens, most of the middle of the greens, and then attack when I have some short irons.
But they are all chasing a familiar name atop the leaderboard. Order of Merit leader Dan McCarthy carded a 3 under 69 to get to 10 under par, posting the early clubhouse lead. The 31-year-old veteran is chasing down his 4th Mackenzie Tour title of the 2016 season.
This is a hard game, but I try to keep it as simple as possible and keep it in play off the tee and put it on the green and make as many putts as I can. You know, usually my putter is one of the strong points in my game, so when I'm able to accomplish, you know, the first 2 parts of that, I do pretty well.
Texas's Brian Dwyer, the 26-year-old in his first season on the Mackenzie Tour, recorded 7 birdies in tough conditions, including a 25-footer at the 18th to finish the day tied with McCarthy.
Made it pretty easy on myself when I've hit bad shots, which you're going to do in this wind. It's hard to get the clubs right, and I don't think I had a par putt more than 5 or 6 feet all day.
Next, we see how the Cape Breton Open impacts the community.
What we're really doing is we're strengthening healthcare for Cape Bretoners.
And then, 3rd round action continues when this is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada returns. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. Since 2013, when the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada first landed in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, they've worked hand in hand with the Cape Breton Regional Hospital Foundation to raise awareness and funds for those seeking cancer treatment in Cape Breton.
Cape Breton Regional Hospital is a leading cancer center in Canada. What's great about our association with Mackenzie Tour and PGA Tour Canada is the proceeds from the event go to support the Cancer Patient Care Fund, and that's a fund that's set up to support cancer patients while they're going through treatments.
The Cape Breton Regional Hospital opened its doors in 1995 after a decade of fundraising, and it has relied on the generosity of the community ever since.
What we're really doing is we're strengthening healthcare for Cape Bretoners, so it's pretty exciting to know that at the end of the day, the work that you do through the support of the donors in the community has a real impact on people's lives. People you love and care about, they're going to get great support as a result of the foundation being able to do what it does through the support of its donors.
The hospital services nearly 200,000 people a year across Nova Scotia, with the Cape Breton Cancer Centre treating around 200 patients every day.
The regional hospital provides care from your first breath to your last. You know, we have babies in a neonatal intensive care unit and adults who are there in palliative care and everything in between. So it's a big hospital with 300 beds, and we're really excited to be able to work in the community and work with great events like PGA Tour Canada to ensure that we can continue to provide world-class care right here at home in Cape Breton.
Over the years, the Mackenzie Tour's partnership with the foundation has helped uplift the community of Cape Breton.
The guys on the tour really care. You know, I've been with the guys when they come into the hospital, and they get to come in and walk around and meet the patients. And so you can tell that there's absolutely a culture of giving. We've had good fortune to meet a lot of the players in the past number of years. We've had players take kids out and give them lessons. We've had players take adults out and give them lessons. I don't know who was more excited, the kids or the adults, but when you see someone who's battling cancer and they get an opportunity to be on the practice facility with a PGA Tour Canada golf professional, it's pretty exciting and it's pretty heartwarming.
Atta girl.
The 3rd round of the Cape Breton Open featured dynamic play from the leaders, Dan McCarthy, Michael Schoolcraft, and Michael Gligic. Ontario's Michael Gligic fired a bogey-free 10 under 62 for the new competitive course record at Bell Bay Golf Club.
It was tough out there, and I probably made it look a little bit easier, but I played my butt off.
Gligic, the 26-year-old in his 7th full season on the Mackenzie Tour, owns 2 top 5 finishes this season. He climbed into a share of the lead at 14 under par.
I didn't really miss too many shots, and when I did, it was kind of in the right spots, and my short game was pretty good.
That's pretty ridiculous. That's outstanding. Mike and I have actually played well out here, I think the last 2 years, so I'm not surprised. You know, it's about time we see his name up there.
Dan McCarthy maintained his share of the lead, battling back from an opening double bogey for a 4 under 68.
Birdies on the last 2 to get a share and to have a chance tomorrow. It was huge. There's probably 10, 15 guys within 2, 3, 4 shots of the lead, so if somebody goes out and shoots 62 again tomorrow and they can run away with it. I can't get ahead of myself at this point. I got to go out and shoot another good round tomorrow, something in the 60s, and you know, hopefully it'll be good enough.
Colorado's Michael Schoolcraft joined the party atop the leaderboard, posting a bogey-free 8 under 64, his best career round in 15 starts on the Mackenzie Tour.
Just going out there and being more free and loose and just trying to make birdies, just trying to do whatever I can to make birdie on every hole. There's a lot of people behind us and they're all going to make birdies, so it's just the same game plan as today.
While 36-hole co-leader Brian Dwyer fell 1 off the pace with a 3 under 69, 1 ahead of Nova Scotia's own Austin Connolly, who climbed back into contention with a 5 under 67. Coming up on This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. Who will take the title at the Cape Breton Open? Find out when we return. This is the Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada. With the Freedom 55 Financial Championship on the horizon, there's plenty on the line in the final round of the Cape Breton Open. In 2015, CT Pan captured his 2nd title of the season in Nova Scotia, jumping from 4th to 2nd on the Order of Merit to secure his Web.com tour card for the 2016 season. And he's played well. Well enough to earn a place on the PGA Tour along with Mackenzie Tour alums JJ Spahn, Joel Damon, and Mackenzie Hughes.
It proves that the guys that play well out here are the guys that can prove themselves at a higher level. And they're reinforcing our thoughts on that, and it's really fun to watch, and hopefully we're able to do the same.
It's all about experience, and that makes a difference. But the JJ Spawns, the CT Pans, we can hit all the shots they do. They caught a good break, and they're good. So when you have all these together, you know, you move up, and you're likely to do well.
The Niagara Championship is the last chance to gain valuable position on the Order of Merit. The top 60 at the close of that event earn a spot in the season finale and exempt status on the Mackenzie Tour for the 2017 season.
It's a marathon out here, and there's definitely some work to do to achieve the goals that I've set this year, but the biggest lesson I know that I've learned on this tour is just the patience to be able to stick it in, week out, and even on the off weeks.
For those outside the bubble, the time to make a move is now.
You need to have a lot of mental energy, especially out here when everybody's so good, so that if you have a bad round, you don't get down on yourself and still find a way to work your way up.
Don't change strategy at all. I think with the top 60 being the guys that keep their card for the following season, it doesn't really affect the game plan or how you approach each tournament. Every event, you try to go out and play your best and see where that takes you.
Just try to go out and put 4 solid rounds together. I haven't been able to do that yet this year, so try to find a way to put 4 of them together and jump up there in the top 5 and see what happens.
The final round of the Cape Breton Open at Bell Bay Golf Club kicked off with a 3-way tie atop the leaderboard between Dan McCarthy, Michael Schoolcraft, and Michael Gligic. Dan McCarthy struck first, birdieing the first 2 holes to get to 16 under for the tournament, and he looked poised to run away from the field once again. But the Order of Merit leaders stalled out in the middle of his round. After a bogey at 6, he poured in 8 straight pars to remain at -15. Meanwhile, Burlington, Ontario's Michael Gligic was mounting a charge. Gligic parred the par 5 9th and picked up another stroke on 10 to take the lead by 1 over McCarthy and 2 over Michael Schoolcraft. But he faltered down the stretch. 3 bogeys dropped him back to 14 under, where he'd finish in a tie for 3rd. His even par final round earned him the Freedom 55 Financial Canadian Player of the Week honors for the 2nd time this season. The 3rd player in the trio, Michael Schoolcraft, was steady throughout the day, closing with a birdie on 18 for a 1 under 71 and solo second place, his best career finish on the Mackenzie Tour. But the afternoon belonged to Dan McCarthy. The 31-year-old found a spark on the back nine, closing with birdies on 15, 16, and 17 to finish at 18 under par with a 3-stroke victory.
I played well all day long. I had a lot of opportunities early on that I just didn't convert. It was tight all day long. This was not easy today by any stretch.
With a final round 68, McCarthy became the first player in Mackenzie Tour PGA Tour Canada history to win 4 times in one season.
I've struggled getting through Q school and all that, and I played a lot of really, really good golf over the last couple of years and just didn't do it, unfortunately, at the right time. It feels amazing to do it now, finally at the right time, and hopefully seal the deal.
With the victory, McCarthy expands his lead atop the order of merit to nearly $61,000 over Taylor Moore in the number 2 position, guaranteeing himself a spot in the 5 and Web.com Tour status next season. And with 2 more events left on the schedule, here's how the top 5 breaks down. Aaron Wise holds steady in the 5th position with a T8 finish in Cape Breton, while BC's Adam Cornelson maintains his hold on 4th with a top 25 finish. Brock Mackenzie drops back 1 spot into 3rd after missing the cut in Nova Scotia, trading places with Texas's Taylor Moore, who tied for 3rd. But Dan McCarthy has built a nearly insurmountable lead in the number 1 position. Taylor Moore can catch him, but he has to win the next 2 events to have a chance to do so.
I'm really excited to get going next year. To be fully exempt and get that number 1 spot from here takes a lot of pressure off at the beginning of the year, so I don't have to necessarily get off to a blazing start. Again, it can allow me to be patient and let the year kind of happen.
That's all from Cape Breton. Join us next week at the Niagara Championship from Fort Erie, Ontario. Thanks for watching.